Hi guys, welcome back to the Naio Nails channel. It's Meg and today we are going to dive into something very fun and very cool. It is a 3D ramen bowl with chopsticks. It looked cool. I saw something similar online, so I thought let's give it a go with our products. So if you want to see how I create this ramen bowl with our products, then just keep watching. Bye! Okay guys, so to start this design, we're going to take the nail tip gel adhesive and I'm going to squeeze some of this out. We're going to create the bowl for the ramen bowl. And what I want to do is, because this is clear, we want to change that and make it white. So I'm adding some of our acrylic powder in Mega White and I'm just going to blend this together until I create the perfect consistency and the perfect colour. Just take your time with this. You can add as much as you want or as little as you want, obviously depending on the look that you want, but this also is a really good idea when the product starts to become too sticky. You can mix and add some acrylic powder into it, whether it's clear or white, whatever you fancy. It's a really good way to create a different colour 3D gel, I guess. Because ours is just clear, you can create different shades. So once I had faffed around with that for about 15 minutes, I got my white and it was a little bit porcelain. There was a few spots that were a little bit clear, but it didn't matter too much. And then what I did was I just used the end of a nail art brush and I popped it over the top and then pulled it around the nail art brush to create a slight bowl and like dip in the center. Obviously you could take something a little bit larger, which would have been more handy for me because it would have given me a larger space within the bowl, but this is all I had to hand. So all I did was literally sit here for probably 45 minutes just perfecting the bowl, because first it was perfect, then it would move too much because it's self-leveling, and then it was too thick, and then it was too thin. So it took my time, but I got there in the end. Once I cured it, I went in with my e-file and a few different bits just to create a soft finish on the inside. I obviously wanted the bowl to be a little bit bigger than what the end of my nail art brush gave. As you can see here, it was a little bit too small. So I went around and perfected the edges to make sure that they were smooth, and it was the most realistic looking bowl that we could achieve with what I had to hand. It did come out really well. I was quite pleased. As you can see here, I'm just taking it from different angles just to make sure it looks realistic. I am going to fill the center of the bowl, so I didn't worry too much about how it looked excuse me, how it looked from the middle, because we're going to be putting like a boiled egg in there. I'm dying. Some noodles, that kind of stuff, so you'll see in a minute. But I mean, just straight off the bat, it worked really well. You can literally make any colour 3D gel using our acrylic powders and our nail tip gel adhesive. So just a little something to think about. I'm going to go in now and buff, and then I will move on to the next step. Also do bear in mind that the nail tip gel adhesive, it doesn't dry completely solid. It does have a little bit of flex and movement even when it's fully cured. So I just had to make sure that obviously with the bowl I didn't press too hard on the edges, which I didn't. I just like made the shape and then I stuck it straight down on this nail, so it was fine. But if you feel like, oh, why is it not rock solid? It doesn't generally dry completely rock solid. It does have a bit of give and a bit of movement, so that's normal. So anyway, for the base of the nail, it's nothing too fancy. It was just something to set off the other tones in the colour of the ramen bowl that I was using. So I picked Birthday Suit, which is a lovely light nudie colour, and I did 2 coats of that. And then once I'd cured it, we then move on to placing the bowl on top of the nail. Also, not to forget, I did use matte top coat because I thought the matte would look a little bit nicer of a finish, and I'm glad I did it because it's really set off the bowl on top of the nail. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I'm placing the bowl on the nail. I'm just figuring out where I want it, and I've used a little bit of glue underneath. Just going to cure everything. You can see the inside of the bowl is nowhere near perfect, but it honestly doesn't matter with things like this, because just concentrate on the bits that you can see, as I was going to fill the bowl anyway, you'll see in a second. Right, we're moving on now, and I'm going to blend some Valencia Orange and some coffee bean together. This created kind of a muddy orange effect. Look at me, woohoo, making mistakes already. I honestly hated my life at that point. I was like, why did I touch the bowl? Why did I touch the outside of the bowl? Anyway, I had to go up quite high with the broth, as you'd call it, so it didn't matter too much, but I'm just filling it in here. And then, as you can see, the hole that my brush had made previously was too small, so it didn't look realistic. So I'm now dragging that colour up and outwards towards the edge of the bowl, just to create the illusion that the bowl was a little bit thinner than it actually was. Fake it till you make it, girls. Fake it till you make it. And this did turn out to be a really realistic colour as well. I was really impressed. I only added a tiny bit of coffee bean. I probably should have showed you me mixing it to see the consistency of how much of each, but I did use probably 3/4 Valencia Orange, 1/4 coffee bean, if that. So anyway, here I am just perfecting the amount that I want, and you can see it does cover the inside quite well. I was quite happy at this point, because obviously I knew I was going to be filling it in with like an egg and cute stuff like that. So here I am, just taking another piece of the excess from the bowl that I'd made earlier, and I'm just rolling it into a really fine, like the finest little line ever, because this is going to be our bunch of noodles. And then what I do is I take a pair of tweezers, and I'm just basically rolling it up like so, kind of letting it sit wherever it wants, because it sticks to each other like this. It was super easy. It just kind of did its own thing. I didn't have to work too hard with it. And there it is. That's your noodles. Don't faff with it too much. Just place it straight inside the bowl. And there's me faffing with it like I just said not to, because I can't help myself. I cured it before putting it in the bowl as well. Just slightly cured it so it wouldn't move, and then I popped it in the lamp afterwards. But I'm going to place that in now. Looks quite cute. So I'm just going to figure out where I want the noodles and then begin the egg. I'm using all of the same mixture of white acrylic powder and nail tip gel adhesive. I've just had some spare left over from earlier, so I just thought I'd use them because they're super tiny. This is our boiled egg, and I placed it to the side like that. If I'd have had time, I probably would have added some extra bits, but like some sushi and stuff, but I didn't have lots of time. So this took me a hot minute as it is. So I just stuck with the simple noodles, broth, egg. And now I am beginning to make my chopsticks. It is very sticky, guys. So try to use the coolest, most non-sticky tool that you can when you're using this, because the product does start to get really sticky and it just becomes a big old mess. And I use some slip solution as well. You can see my gloves are a bit wet because I had to keep putting that on so that I didn't stick to any of it. And for the yolk, I used Mimosa and then mixed a tiny bit of the pre-mix of Valencia Orange and coffee bean together on top of that, just to create a dark yolk. And then for the noodles, I used Buttercup, which is a very nice baby yellow that we have. I didn't show the bottle, I'm sorry, but that's the colour I used. It'll be tagged down below. And then for the next section was coffee bean. I just went in and filled in my little chopsticks after I'd cured them. I kind of had to cure it while it was on the plastic sheet and then pick them off gently so they didn't break. And then I just held them like this and covered as much as I could. So the best way to achieve this and attach the chopsticks to the bowl is like a nail tip adhesive, a nail tip gel adhesive, whatever we've got. Oh my freaking God, I've just seen my nails. Oh no, that's not my nails. That's Tian's nails that I did ages ago. She's chopped them down. They look so bad. I was thinking I didn't wear those. I don't get time to wear nice nails. Also, let's not forget that I just basically said I had 3 hands just there, because I was using my hands to hold my product, but I got Tian to do the light for me. So yeah, that was a blonde moment, ignore me. So yeah, you just want to stick it down with a gel adhesive or a rhinestone glue, something like that, and just flash cure it until it stops moving. And then you can pop it in your lamp just to finish it off. This was quite fiddly, but it wasn't too difficult. I just, you know, stayed patient and it worked. Then just to finish, I used some top coat around the bowl before placing some cute little red lines around it, and then I was done. Sorry, I did also mix a little bit of coffee bean and base coat just to create a really watered down brown, and I just placed it around the noodles and in between the noodles to create the effect that the broth was on top, and slightly submerged the noodles inside, and that just made it look a little bit more realistic. Then I took Pillar Box as one of our bright red colours, and I just used this to finish some details around the edge of the bowl. I thought the red would be a nice touch, so I did an outer layer of the lines around the edge, and then I did an inner line as well towards the inner side of the bowl just to define the edges for you. I think it just gave it a little bit more of a realistic look. I ramble so much in these voiceovers, it actually kills me. I can't even listen to myself back because it cringes me the hell out. I can't stop talking. But then, is that me in real life? Do I do that? Because that's so freaking annoying. It's definitely like one of those Family Guy moments. Shut up, Meg. That's definitely me. 100%, everyone must think that. I promise I don't annoy people around me. I try not to be annoying. I try not to ramble. I like to explain stuff, you know? Right guys, I top coated it just to make sure there was no sticky edges, and that's how it came out. I was really proud of this. I feel like I'm stepping into another level of 3D artwork on the nails. I'm practicing, I'm not perfect, but I'm getting there. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and it taught you a couple of little bits and bobs and showed you how you can use our products in a very versatile way. Any of the products that I use in this video obviously are linked down below for you. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you think to this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.